Welcome to RPM. I'm Scott Evans. Today we're going to have a look at a Markham-based company that gives the corporate client an opportunity to both reward its employees and provides any type of driver with the opportunity to both learn how to drive properly and safely. That company? Driver for a Day. Driver for a Day allows the student to try a variety of different cars to give them a feel for what works and what doesn't. Everything from the Audi TT, the Porsche 911 Carreras, the 911 race car, and the granddaddy of them all, the 944 Turbo Cup car. Now for under $500, Driver for a Day participants get to sample some of Porsche's finest sports cars. As well, with their newfound driving ability and knowledge, it makes for a safer drive on the street as well as a more pleasurable drive. For Rogers Television and RPM, I'm Scott Evans. If there's one thing that Woodbridge native Frank Trombino has learned this year, it's that the most important aspect of racing success is not the efforts of one person, but true teamwork of all those involved. And if there's one thing that Frank's fans and his competitors have learned, Frank Trombino is fast. Welcome to the Ontario Cup Provincial Championships of Downhill Mountain Bike Racing. We're here at the Heights of Horseshoe, approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes north of Toronto. My name is Scott Evans, and I'll be your host. It's a beautiful day for mountain bike racing. These guys are of a different ilk altogether. These bikes hit up to 70 kilometers going downhill, and they're catching air during some of that, which really means there's a risk factor involved for these riders. Thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in next year for continuing coverage of this exciting and growing event. I'm Scott Evans, and all you little kids out there, be sure to keep your brain buckets on. Not only are there NASCAR sites and driver-specific sites like Jeff Gordon's site, but we can't forget about the guys who actually build these cars and maintain the cars, build the engines. Look, the guys who are looking for the horsepower, the real engineering brains behind NASCAR. And in this situation, we'll have a look at Hendrick Motorsports. And Rick Hendrick is one of the owners of several different cars you see out on the track any given weekend. As the season comes to a close, preparations are already beginning for next season. Team 3 Red will set its sights even higher by running 2 race cars for 2001. Additionally, they will take the information gathered this year and use it to improve both car and driver. What defines a classic? Well, in the case of the Ford Model A, not Henry's first, but quite possibly his most significant. The Cessna 172, by sheer numbers alone, over 43,000 manufactured, making it quite possibly the most popular light aircraft ever.
There's a feeling of exhilaration that comes with control. Control at speed even more so. Wingham native Scott Evans knows that feeling.
For the most part, I got into it because of just I was interested in it. I like speed, but it's not just for speed. It's competitiveness, I guess. It's having a very competitive nature. I come to the point where I was getting kind of crazy for the most part on the street driving, and I just thought maybe a better place to take it would be to where you're supposed to take that kind of mentality, I guess is what it comes down to. Take it to the track where you can maybe put it to some use.
Number 4 cylinder is showing tight valve clearances, so I wanted to check this one out. This is the most suspect one. So a leak down tester basically is a differential gauge. I've got whatever pressure coming in from the compressor, which is over there, comes in on this line, feeds into this side of the gauge. I've got the gauge under load, it comes in to 80. Now I tweak it. So I'm going to show you what happens here. There's a line that comes off the differential tester, goes into the spark plug hole. Number 4 cylinder is at top dead center. Check the timing mark. Both cam lobes on number 4 are facing away from each other, which means that there should be the appropriate clearance on those valves, roughly between, I think, 15 and 25 here, and about 10 to 20, I think, on the intake side. I got absolutely nothing. I can't even get a .04 feeler gauge in underneath these 2 cam lobes. So The cylinders are top dead center. Both valves are closed, but they are not, as we will find out. So what you do with this is once your pressure's set, you simply slowly, what you do is you get a steady pressure level on this side. So I'm going for, we unlock that, I'm just going to adjust this to about 80 just for a round number. And that's close enough. Okay. Over here, what are we showing? We're showing about 60, 70, we're showing about 73. So in effect, I have a 7 psi differential. Well, where's the air going? Well, as you can probably hear, I got a leaky intake valve, big time. To keep tension on the chain properly when you go rotating back and forth, and the only reason you rotate it back and forth a few degrees is to make sure that there's no binding with the camshafts inside when they're bolted and torqued down in their caps. It is possible to get the camshafts slightly cocked in these and it'll bind. So it's just to make sure they turn freely.